Wow. It is tough out there, folks. If you're single and trying to date, it's a shit show. On this week's episode of Wellness Week Live. Hey, that's the show. That's the show today. Okay. Online dating tips for dudes. And I guess dudettes, but I'm not a dudette. I'm a dude. Anyways, so dating. Oh, my Lord. Let's talk about dating tips. Okay, guys. So you may be wondering, what the hell does this have to do with health and wellness? Well, relationships have everything to do with health and wellness. I mean, ooh, there's the light right there. Um, Relationships help our health and wellness. Come on, let's be honest. If you're in a good relationship, that's a game changer. So it's incumbent to get into a good relationship, or if you're in a bad relationship, get out and get into a good one, because it's probably, I would say, one of, if not the most important things for our health: mental, physical, spiritual, financial. I mean, having a good partner matters. Now, if you're watching this video, hoping to get tips on like how to hoe around, then don't watch this. This is not about hoeing around. You want to hoe around and, you find somewhere that is mutually interested in that. God bless you. But episode is about finding love, finding an LTR, as they say, long-term relationship, that or marriage, or finding your person. So that's it. Let's go. Okay, dudes. So if you're whining and complaining that I can't find no one, I'm getting all choked up. Then here's some tips. Here we go. So number one, you're gonna need to get on a dating app, whether you like it or not. I'm not saying get on all the dating apps, but you need to get on a dating app. It has to be a tool in the tool chest. I'm not saying it's the only tool, but in modern day times, you need to be on at least one dating app if you're serious about finding someone. If you're not serious, then don't go on a dating app. But if you're serious, you have to put that as one of your 5 or 6 or 7 tools, a dating app. Now, for me, I'm 50. So I just turned 50. How you doing? So I just turned 50, and I would say, and I've been on all the major dating apps at some point in my life, and I would say, if you are 50, man or woman, the two best dating apps, at least my experience, have been for people in their late 40s, early 50s. Yeah, I'd say 40s and 50s would be Bumble or Match.com. That's in the New Jersey area, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, tri-state area. I don't know how it is in other states, other countries, but my experience has been Bumble or Match.com are the two heavyweights. So for older, mature people, I understand you can be 20 and be on these things, but usually if you're 20 years old, you're probably on Tinder or something like that. And I'm not saying you can't be on Tinder if you're 50 or 60, but serious relationship, I understand. Someone that met their husband and wife on Tinder and they're 95 years old. We're talking about odds here, okay? The odds are probably, like I said, my estimation is either Bumble or Match.com. Okay, so let's start off with that. You need to get on that. Be honest, when you do your profiles, because I know men and women can be guilty of this, and I've been told this by my female friends who are online dating, and I'm sure it applies to both. That is, be honest. Like, don't lie about your age. Don't do that, because it's a total douche move. And so you're going to get found out. And don't be like, well, the girls do it. The women always do. Why can't I? Are you going to be serious about finding somebody or not? If you're going to be serious, you got to be true. So you put your true age, and you put 3 high resolution, high quality, very clear photos up. One of your face, and then one of your body, and then one of whatever, something else, your friends, or you're skiing or swimming in your backyard, an action photo, so to speak. But you have to be honest too. You can't just show your head, because you're not dating a head, and you're not dating their head, and they're not dating your head. I hate when people do that. So don't do that. You can have one head shot, but then you have to have a body shot, because again, you're not dating somebody's head. They're not dating your head. You're not dating their head. Be honest. If you're a few pounds underweight, if you're a few pounds overweight, it's going to come up on the first date. So you don't fake the funk. None of us are Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know what I mean? Or Tom Cruise, just be honest. And that's the big one there. Don't say that, yeah, I love going rock climbing and deep sea diving, when you did it when you were 10 years old and you haven't done it since. Like, you know what I mean? Be current with what you like and don't like. There's somebody out there for you. Okay, the other thing I would say, you have to get out old-fashioned way. I have friends of mine that they look, I want to meet somebody, but they're not on dating apps. They never go out. Well, how do you expect to meet somebody? Like, oh, poor me, man. I don't find anybody. Well, again, you got to put in effort. Okay. So you got to get out to whatever, libraries, bars, restaurants, cafes, go to church, go to synagogue, go to mosque, whatever it is, go to community center, get out, walk the dog, walk yourself, go shopping, go food shopping. Don't always order your food delivered to you. You know what I mean? You got to kind of get out. Okay. The other thing I would say is take the goddamn headphones off and take the phone and put it down. Look around you. Be present. Be in the moment. None of these are guarantees, but you want to stack odds in your favor. So you'll make eye contact with somebody, or you'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, I didn't know. Oh, wow, hey, you have that, whatever, same car I do. Or, oh, you order that. Too. You're going to bump into people, you talk. So put the phone down, get the headphones off. And that's kind of a sign that, hey, you're open to conversation. If you are, if you don't have a lot of friends, or your friends are in different parts of their life where they're married and have kids, go out alone. I go out alone. Initially, it sucks, but you know what? You'll meet a lot more people when you go out alone, because then you're not so intimidating. When you go out with a group of the boys, you'll probably have better odds if you're by yourself, because you're more open, and people will roll up on you and be like, hey, what are you drinking? Hey, oh, wow, you watch, whatever, like men and women. And it's pretty cool, actually. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but I highly recommend it. I'm not saying always go out alone, but you got to get out. Okay. That's the other tools in the tool chest. You have to tell your friends too. Tell friends and acquaintances, like, hey, if you know anybody, man, or hey, is your wife's sister single still? Or, you know what I mean? Like, you got to advertise a little bit, and it's not desperate. You're just asking, or yeah, if you see like a friend or a colleague, hey, is your colleague, she's cute, is she single, or guy single, whatever it is, like, you don't have to yell it out and sing it in the mountaintops, but press a little bit, like, so again, that's another tool in the tool chest. I would also say that you got to put in effort. So if you're like, well, I am putting in effort, okay, well, what does that mean though? What does effort mean? Because if I have a friend of mine, he goes, no, I'm putting in effort. It turns out he only goes out once every 5 months, and he has a dating app, but he only checks it once a month for 2 minutes. Like, what do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean? Very little. So I'm not saying you have to quit your job and be fully dedicated 24 hours a day, but you got to be on the dating apps once a day for a few minutes minimum, to see who messaged you or see who you're going to like, and you got to get out. Again, if you don't like bars and restaurants, then join your local group somewhere, or go on Facebook. There's a ton of events and groups you could join. You got to get out there. Other thing I would say is, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super hot and 1 being your pizza face monster, stay in your lane, folks. Like, I know I'm not a 10, okay? I'm not a 10. I'm not a 9. So I stay in my lane, and I look for women that are going to be in my lane. Now, don't get me wrong. If I happen to bump up on and meet somebody and they happen to be a 10 and we're hitting it off, I'll ask her out. I'll be like, hey, but generally speaking, we all know where we rank. I mean, if you're somebody, again, like, if you're a 4, you got to stick with 4s and 5s. You know what I mean? And you can shoot for the 10 once in a while, but know your lane. Like, you be honest. Like, it's the same thing. Like, can you bench press 500 pounds? You can't. Okay, then why are you loading up that weight? You know what I mean? You're gonna kill yourself. Like, like, I can't bench 500 pounds, so I don't load up, puny weight on my bar. I'm not going to try to post up like I'm something I'm not, So know where you are in your lane. Know where you are mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, also, right? So if you happen to be pulling in $1 million a year, you might not want someone that's pulling in 20,000 a year. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, birds of a feather flock together. And that's the other thing I would say. Birds of a feather flock together. I don't believe in opposites attract. Birds of a feather flock together. So you want to find someone that's like you. I'm not saying they have to be everything perfect lined up to you, but you want to find someone that has your sensibilities, has a sense of humor, has your financial outlook, has your physical inabilities or ability, you know what I mean, line up. So, and be honest about that too, as to what you're looking for. And my other thing would be this, don't have too many prerequisites, because I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect. So, have 1 or 2 non-negotiables, and everything else you got to be flexible with. And if you don't, again, I have another friend who, he's not a 10, he's not a 9, he's not an 8, and he's not a 7. He doesn't pull in millions of dollars. He's not ripped, chiseled, muscles. He doesn't, he has a lot going for him in certain ways, but he's looking for someone who's a perfect 10, blonde hair, blue eyes, that lives within a mile of his house. It's like, do you really think you're going to find someone? Honestly, like, you know what I mean? So I'm not saying accept crap, but the wider the net you can cast, the more fish that you have a potential to catch, so to speak, right? So for me, like a non-negotiable would be like, I don't do drugs. I don't do pot. I mean, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. Now, someone's getting married, I'll raise a toast to champagne. It's New Year's, I'll raise a toast. That's it. Like I don't drink. I've never been drunk. I'm an athlete still. So, if you're someone that likes to do drugs, hey, I don't think you should be locked up in jail, but that's not how I roll. You know what I'm saying? So, I also, a non-negotiable for me would be someone that lives a really sedentary, chips, cake, cookies, bagels, pizza, cake, hey, a beer, a wine, a beer, margarita, wine, beer, cake, cookies, bagels, chips, and muffins. Like that's another non-negotiable. Those are my two, you know. So other than that, I've dated Muslim, Jewish, Christian, Catholic, atheist, tall, short, heavy, skinny, muscular, uh, black, white. It doesn't matter to me, So my net is no wonder I do go on a lot of dates. I meet a lot of women. Versus my friend that's like, no, she has to be blonde hair, blue eyes, perfect 10, has to live within a mile of my house, has to pull in 500,000 a year, has to have a college, what do you call it? Has to go to Ivy League college, graduate. Like, really, dude? Meanwhile, this guy's none of those things. But you know what I mean? So it's like, even if you are all those things, you gotta pick one or two non-negotiables. And by the way, those are non-negotiables. Then there's prerequisites, right? Like, don't be a murderer, don't be an axe murderer. Take a bath once in a while. Like those are all prerequisites. And you have to be careful because just because someone's a good person doesn't mean they're good for you. Because you can say, oh, this person's great. They have a job, they worship the Lord. They don't cheat, they don't steal. Okay, that's nice, but everyone should do that. That's a prerequisite. You know what I mean? So there's difference between non-negotiables and prerequisites. But yeah, the non-negotiables should be one or two things, and that's it. So that's the other thing. So another point I would say of interest that you should look at is don't date for your mommy and daddy. Okay, are you an adult man? Are you an adult woman? Then guys, grab your your brass, and you're gonna have to respectfully, lovingly stand up to your mommy and daddy. Okay, your mommy and daddy, you're not dating them. Okay, so if your mommy and daddy don't like it that you're dating a white guy, or your mommy and daddy don't like it that you're dating a black woman, or your mommy and daddy don't like it that the person is not pulling in 300,000 a year and lives in a studio and is just barely scraping by, but they're a hard worker. Your mommy and daddy don't like that. Well, you can tell your mother and father to go, all right, because whose life is this? Okay. I mean, your mommy and daddy live their life. Be a man with respect and love. You do you, like if you love that person, but you're afraid mommy and daddy might not approve. How old are you? You know what I'm saying? Your mommy and daddy did everything for me. Yeah, but they're not your God. They're not your Jesus. They're not your Allah. They're not your Buddha. Like, what? If you like that girl who's Chinese and you're Irish, she's a Jew, you're a Christian. So what? Date her. Now, if you're both looking for a devout Christian or devout Jew or devout Muslim, different story. But like I've dated Muslims and Jews, and you know what? My mother probably wouldn't be happy if I dated a Jewish person or a Muslim person. But you know what? Mom, I love you, but it's not your life. It's mine. You got beef. That's your problem, Mom. Not mine. And you don't tell me what to do. And again, I say that with respect and love. My mother's a good person, but you know what I mean? There's a line there. So, but again, if you want to live with mommy and daddy are going to tell you what to do, and that's fine if you're happy with that. But and again, hey, if you don't want to date Muslims or Jews or Christians, you want to date atheists, that's fine. But why are you picking these categories? If it's because what you want, that's fine. But if it's because mommy and daddy might be upset, then that's not fine. Anyways, or your friends or whoever. The other thing I would say is learn to be happy being single and alone. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely. So I've learned to be happy single and alone. I have plenty of friends and activities and a rich, fulfilling, happy, loving life, but I don't need a woman. I want a woman in my life. I want to have an LTR, but I don't need it. That's a big change for me because most of my life I went from relationship to relationship because I thought I had to have somebody. I don't. And you know what? I made it my hands didn't get blown off. I'm all together. I'm fine. I'm happy. So I've learned some things in the past couple of years. So you don't want to be desperate, because people can smell it. Men and women can smell it. Oh, this person's desperate. Um, I would say don't get caught up with somebody's looks. You might get a 10 or a 9 or someone that you think is super hot, guy or girl. Right? You're old enough. Like looks only go so far. After a few weeks or months, and it's like we got nothing, and lust is not love. So really kind of look for that. Do you get along with that person? Could you see that person being one of your best friends or a best friend? Then that's a good indication you should be dating that person, and don't worry about them not necessarily being smoking hot. Like they'll become smoking hot actually within months because you'll just fall in love with that person. I would also say that, what is the other thing I wanted to tell you about? Oh, when you're on dating apps, you really have to understand this is nothing personal. Okay. Most dating apps are like being at a bar. What's that? When you go to a bar, there's usually more men than women. And guess what? Dating apps are no different. But dating apps are even worse in some respects because I would say just anecdotally, the average dating app, doesn't matter which one, I would say it might be, and you see, they don't disclose these figures, but my guess is it's I'm going to be conservative in my guess and say it's 500 to 1 ratio. For every one woman, 500 guys. So good luck, because women are not going to respond to you. It's not because of anything other than they're getting swamped. I have girlfriends of mine, they tell me, go, Anthony, I've been on this dating app for 3 hours and I already got 500 men message me. And it doesn't stop. So even if you're the greatest catch and you're super hot, guy or girl, guy, women aren't even going to see you most of the time. And this is the part where you say, why the hell would I be on a dating app? Well, you're going to be on a dating app because it is easy to throw a lot at the wall. You could just swipe right, which means you like them. Swipe left, you don't like them. So you could just swipe right, and you can swipe right on, 200-300 women in a day. And then whoever gets back to you, then you can engage with them and see if they're for you or not. Now, I would not recommend reading everybody's bio because then it'll be impossible to meet anybody, unfortunately. So these apps are really, even though they give you the chance to read bios and their whole life story, and these dating apps are not really built for that. They're built for the initial, okay, that person's cute or not. Sorry, that's how it is. It's kind of like going to the bar or a party. And then if you message each other, then you get to know about each other. Because honestly, like I've learned, even if a woman is saying, oh, I love this and that, and you talk to them, you get to know them, it's like, they might love it, but do they do this or that? You know what I mean? Like going back to the hiking and climbing thing or whatever. So you really kind of have to know somebody, they may say, oh, wow, I'm really conservative. And then you find out you're more liberal, so I wouldn't really read bios too much. I would just go on the first, are you attracted to them? Swipe left, swipe right. My point is you're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs to get to the princess or the prince. Don't take it personal. It's just the way these apps are. And so you got to put the time in and the effort. And and I would say also set the distance of your dating net larger than just a mile. I live in northern New Jersey, so I'll go approximately 20 miles from where I live. That's a lot of people you could meet. I have friends of mine that only go 3 miles from where they live. It's like, really, dude? All right, well, don't complain, you're not meeting anybody. But so cast the wider net geographically also. And you might want to get on multiple dating apps actually, but I would say at least one. So those are my tips. Tell me what your tips are. How's it going out there dating? I've met some really nice women. I have to say, I can't say anything bad. But yeah, I mean, you have to understand that dating apps are also, it's a quote unquote quantity over quality. Not that the women aren't quality or the men aren't quality, but it's just people are, flipping left and right through these quote unquote pages so quickly. And that's the downside of dating apps. You really don't get a chance to really know the person or meet the person. That's why I say get out, go to restaurants, bars, go to church, go to synagogue, go to mosque, go to clubs. I mean, clubs like, well, you might go to dance club, but I mean, clubs like join the pottery club or the climbing club. That's where your personality can shine more, up front, quick. The dating apps are more, does the person think you're cute? And again, you could be a perfect 10, but a woman or a man might think you're ugly. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, yeah. So those are my tips for finding love. you got to be patient, and you got to put in, I'd say probably expect to put in 3 months on any one giving dating app. I mean, yeah, uh, most of these dating apps will actually not give you the option of anything less than 3 or 4 months, which is kind of smart. I mean, I think Bumble or Match, you can do 1 month at a time, which if you want to stick your foot in the water, that's fine too. Um, I would say too, if you have the opportunity on dating apps to do a little video or an audio message, do it because that will make you stand out. Because I would say, anecdotally, what I've been told, 98% of men and women don't put a voice on their bio or video, and you want to stand out, because everybody's doing the same fucking 3 pictures, 4 pictures, and I love movies and I like to laugh. Or here we go. Be detailed also when you say you like to laugh. Like, so I will say, Chappelle, Bill Maher, so they know what I'm saying when I say laugh, if they can line up with the sarcasm, you know what I mean? Or say you're sarcastic. Don't go out. Another tip for if you get to the first date, which I'm sure you will eventually, if you put the time and effort in, first date, just meet up for a drink at a bar or cafe, coffee. Don't go doing dinner. That's just bad. I would say you want to have, at least 2 or 3 phone calls before you meet up, because you don't want to waste your time. If there's nothing there, you can find out pretty much on a phone call. And guys, pay for the first date. Don't be a struns. Don't be a sfachim. I mean, pay for the first date. Most women, 99.999, they want a little chivalry. Hold the door, pay for the first date. Don't do the Dutch bullshit. That's a big turn off to women. Women sometimes will offer to pay. Just, oh no, I got it. Don't worry about it. This is on me, please. And then, I'm all for women paying, but the first date or two, like, just show a little chivalry. Most women like that. And so yeah, and don't expect, again, don't go dating to try to get laid. Like, how old are you? 14? Like, be a man, show respect. Don't, pay for the meal. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be rude. Don't get into a debate or an argument. I was going to say is that, and if a woman doesn't message you or message you once or twice and then stop messaging you, don't be butthurt. Don't be upset. That's just the name of the game, bro. Move on. Don't write any immature texts or messages on the dating app back to a woman. I've heard women tell me this sometimes, and most guys are respectful, but don't be a baby. You may want to try matchmaking services too, a little more expensive, but speed dating is a lot of fun. I've done that a few times. That's great if you have like a really great personality, but you're not a 10, you're not a Tom Cruise. So speed dating is nice. And if you go speed dating, brush your teeth, comb your hair, take a shower, wear clothes that are, fitting. I've seen some train wreck dudes out there that look like they got hit by a bus. And I'm like, wow, you came here like that. And that's your best, So those are the dating tips that I have for you. I wish you luck. And, I think it's important to put the effort in, because life is about relationships and life's about love. And if you, speaking about love too, again, don't worry about the sex thing. Chimpanzees know how to have sex. Oh, we all know how to have sex. Don't go trying to do that on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth date. Don't worry. There's plenty of sex to have, but really concentrate on, do I want to be this person's friend? And then from there, don't worry, relax. There's plenty of sex out in the world. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're looking to find somebody serious, then, take your time, man. Don't take your time and focus on what matters. Again, that's the person, their personality, their morals, how they are with you and you with them as a friend. And if you feel that you have that, trust me, everything else is going to fall into place. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's that. Be respectful, be kind. Don't be an asshole. If you think she or he is being an asshole to you, then take the high road. Well, listen, I'm going to go now. You have a good night, and keep it moving, baby. So those are my tips. And that's that, so I wish you well. I wish you love. I wish you success. Looking through my notes here to see if I left anything else out, but yeah, I mean, there's, and you'll find out as you go on too, like what, and I get it. It's scary. I don't think anybody really wants to be on a dating app. I think people want to find somebody, but the dating app is, a thing you got to do. Again, get out, join clubs, be active in your community somehow, maybe coach a sport, join a gym, join a karate class, do things where you're going to be in proximity, especially classes and learning, like, because then yeah, you're kind of forced to talk and interact, and that's a nice thing. I know I've met a lot of nice women through the years through joining church clubs or activity based stuff where you have to do stuff, so that's cool, take a class of some sort. So anyways, hope that helps. Again, wish you luck, and I am out of here. All right, I gotta go on my dating app right now. 5 4, don't forget, like and subscribe if you made it this far, please, and tell a friend. Huh? All right, thank you. 5 4 3 2 1, bye.